Welcome to Opinion Havers, a movie podcast powered by Adderall. I'm Cody.
And I'm Tyler.
And we're in person.
We did it.
It's been a minute.
We did it. We're in the same room.
It's been like...
I can touch you now.
Oh, new boots.
I know, these are old shoes.
You had the same boots for like 8 years.
Yeah, I've also had these. I just don't wear them that often. These are tennis shoes. Also, go ahead, stomp on the toe.
You had steel toe tennis shoes on?
Yeah. Most of my shoes are steel toe.
Go so hard.
Yeah.
I'm wearing the opposite of steel toe, which are New Balance slides. Well, Tyler, what did we watch?
We watched Fight Club. That's what we're recording on, right? We agree on that?
And you said it, we can't go back, so let's do it.
What
We
did
had
you
other
think
ones planned, but now it's Fight Club.
All
right?
What do you think we were
Nope, the
recording
plan was always Fight Club. How dare you suggest it was something else? Tyler, it was your first journey round the Fight Club, wasn't it?
on? Yeah,
Oh,
it was.
do you want to just... we saw this in the theater.
I know, right?
25th anniversary, fighting clubs for 25 years. Break it down for us. What's Fight Club all about?
It's about, I mean, really, it's Office Space, but it's the other side. It's the direction Office Space could have gone. Right? Tell me I'm wrong.
Look,
That's
I
what it
haven't
is.
seen Office Space, but I know there's a stapler, and I know that it becomes some sort of a crime thing. They steal money or
They do.
staplers or something. I think they steal staplers.
No,
And they
the
sell 'em on the black
Staplers
market.
The Staplers is a different guy in there.
But he's in there.
He's there. He's the guy that gets his office moved to the bathroom at one point, and then to the boiler room.
I need to watch it. It's a classic. Like, I've worked enough desk job to have needed to have seen it. You know.
You'll appreciate it a lot. I think, especially coming from the places you worked and currently work. Even.
Oh, I mean, I did my time in a dirty cubicle. You know.
Oh yeah.
I did my time. So it's punk rock Office Space is what you're saying.
Exactly. That's
Fight
exactly
Club
what it is.
Very cool. I mean, what's your quick take on it?
It is different than what I was thinking it was going to be, than what I expected. And I think I liked it. I thought it was pretty good. You know?
I'll tell you, I was an edgelord in high school, and I read Fight Club the book about a dozen times.
Yeah, you
like
did.
no joke. It was my favorite book for years.
Mm-hmm.
And I had seen the movie like on cable maybe, and I think I had like a tape recording of it, which even at the time it was a little bit past the days of tape recording. Anyway, whatever. I had a copy of it, and I was just kind of disappointed by the movie. I thought it was okay, you know? Now, coming back, it's been years since I was an edgelord, and watching the full theatrical cut of the movie without ads for Pizza Hut and stuff in between the scenes,
Mm-hmm.
I actually enjoyed it a lot. I liked it a lot more than I did way back in the day, you know, because it's a little different from the book. It's got a lot of this good stuff from the book. A few things it's missing. Big thing is like a fairly significantly different ending, which bugged me at the time, but now I respect it. I respect where it's at. And I thought it was a very well-made movie, and I understand why it was like a cult hit, you know? And I understand why everyone wants that Brad Pitt bod.
Yeah. That is the classic. And the funny thing is, all the guys that say that are now old, and fat. They're like, I want that Brad Pitt from Fight Club body, and it's like, dude, you missed the boat 30 years ago.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Rob McElhenney, when he was trying to get in shape with his trainer, was like, because they'll ask you if you have one of these Hollywood personal trainers, like, okay, what kind of physique are you looking for? And he's like, well, I have one of mine. He's like, don't tell me, don't say it, don't say Brad Pitt from Fight Club, because even if you get that exact same body, you are not Brad Pitt. You will not look as good as Brad Pitt. You do not have his face. It will not work. Cool. So there's your caveat. So if you're trying to, you can get hot. You can't get that hot. It's just not, that's not how it works.
So let's take a moment here, Cody.
Yeah. Yeah, that's my diploma. Now, what is that?
It's a little cable tie.
The nipple clamps.
I was very confused by it because it looked like it was a charging port.
What you do is you
drilled
put
into
them
it.
right in there,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
and they're like temporary. You know, like if you have a piercing, you have to put like a little something in it between. If you're, you always have to have something in there.
Yeah.
So if you got nipple piercing, that's what you put in there.
Oh, okay.
You can also use it for cables. That's what most people use them for.
Yeah.
Most people don't know that you can also just put those if you get nipple piercing. That works for that. I don't have a nipple piercing. Okay. So
But
don't
you-
ask to look.
Oh, okay.
Don't ask to see.
I won't. It's all right.
I would
I'll
never
wait till
do
you're
that.
asleep.
I would never do that while we're recording audio. All right.
Yeah.
I'll do it after, but don't you dare ask right now.
So what's your dream celebrity body, Cody? And is it? Don't say Brad Pitt from Fight Club. And don't say Edward Norton from Fight Club
I'm
either.
thinking Christian Bale from
Machinist.
VP. What's that? What's the
Vice.
one? Vice. Yeah, Christian Bale from Vice for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm. That's kind of what. What about you? What direction you heading?
Well, now I feel silly because I was going real with it, and you went Christian.
Going real with it.
I mean, I guess if we both wanted to say, you could always say, "What's your Christian Bale?" Because he's got the whole game.
I mean, Christian Bale Batman, I feel like is a nice, very bulky cut, but not Thor big, where you're like, I mean, that's got to be too much work, and it's too much,
I'm thinking in my mind, if I could snap my fingers and have any of them, and I've been told by so many ladies, including my wife, no, it's not. That's not a good look. They don't like it. We're talking Henry Cavill, peak big boy, right? When
Big
he's
boy
like
Cavill.
the biggest, bulgiest dude in the world. That's what I
Yeah.
want, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good one.
My girls have been like, but that's not hot. It's like, but it's not for you. It's for the other guys at the gym to see. It's not for you.
Oh my gosh, what is it? Curls for the girls, tries for the guys.
Yeah.
That's well.
You have the big old neck. You're like neck.
That's
fans
what
out.
gets
Like,
when
oh.
it's those other the traps.
Oh, yeah.
The lats. I saw someone. Bailey and I saw someone. We went to the theme park the other day.
Mhm.
I saw a woman with the biggest quads I've ever seen in my life. But it wasn't like she was like, I got to work out my legs. It was like, no, I got to do quad day. But I refused to do any other muscles on my leg. It was amazing. I didn't know how she did it. I was like, because you got those people that, you got leg day people and non-leg day people.
Yeah.
But I haven't seen a leg day person that managed to have just one huge leg muscle, but not anything else. So I guess that's what I'd want. I'd want to
Yeah.
pick the weirdest possible muscle in my body to isolate and be like, wait, how is it just that one thing? Oh, like Popeye forearms?
That's what I was just thinking. Forearms.
But everything
Huge
else is
forearms.
like small,
Yeah.
like I have now. It's just
Yeah.
giant.
Oh yeah.
Ah,
That's the way to do it.
well,
That's the dream.
you want to get on with it?
Cody, let's do it. Hop in. I don't know, man. Hop in my stolen car, all right? Because they do that at some point.
Yes.
Hop in the stolen car. We're together, so it's low. I don't know why it feels weirder to do this part
I don't know, man.
in person. Well,
Who
hop in the
even
stolen car.
are you?
I mean, I'm here. I'm the guy who's here, all right? I'm the guy that left for years, and now I'm back. You know?
You did your Rumspringa, you failed, and you had to come back to the colony.
Yeah. Did I fail though? Because I mean, I succeeded in my goal of doubling my salary.
It's pretty good. I guess I gotta move to Boston now.
Yeah. That's what I was telling Tiffany. Now that we're back, you guys are definitely moving to California or something, right?
Yeah, that's the goal.
Don't worry, I can follow you to California. I got 30 emails this week from places in California.
Oh yeah?
Oh yeah, they want me.
Where at?
The one place, and here's the thing. Let's get into it. The place that has tempted me the most is in Huntington Beach.
That's where my dad's from.
Mm.
That's from Huntington Beach.
Yeah.
And it is Huntington, not Huntington. Huntington, That's the East Coast pronunciation. Just
Yeah.
like East Coast, it's Huntington and it's Lancaster. West Coast, fix your mindset. It's Huntington and Lancaster. All right, not Lancaster, Lancaster. Not Huntington, Huntington.
Okay, let's get into it here. Okay, if you're talking about an East Coast pronunciation, it'd be Huntington and Leicester. All right, let's do a PSA for everybody. What's the most classically difficult to pronounce town on the East Coast? Worcester, exactly. Here's how you pronounce it. If you're not, everybody comes in, they say Worcester. What are you, British? They don't know how to pronounce any of their town names. Don't believe them. All right, don't believe anything that they're saying. Here's what you do. Any of the town names in Boston, or in and around Boston specifically, especially Worcester, if you're unsure of how to pronounce it, just go hit the first letter hard and the last letter softly and mumble your way through the rest of it. Worcester.
Like French.
Yep. People know what you're talking about.
I mean, no one knows how to say Worcestershire sauce. I heard Gordon Ramsay call it Worcester sauce, and now that's all I call it.
Yeah, that's how you pronounce it.
That's how I call it, Worcester sauce.
Now, see, the people in Worcester will say it's like like Worcester. No one says that. Only like some random people on the radio say that. I listened to a whole program. They put it on the radio of how to pronounce it. It was weird. It was right when we got there, so it was helpful. They say it's like Worcester.
That's when you know you really like
Worcester.
You really have it going on as a place.
Yeah,
Your
they're the
radio
worst.
programming is. All right, here's how you pronounce things.
There was an apartment we were looking at in Worcester, and one of the reviews was like, "It's great. They've gotten rid of almost all the drug addicts having sex in the alley."
Because you want a couple. You
want a
can't
couple.
lose the identity of the neighborhood.
Exactly.
You know? But you got to keep it clean though.
Yeah.
You got to keep it manageable.
Mm-hmm.
Keep it PG-13. Keep it Boston, but PG-13.
Yeah. Worcester, not Boston.
No,
To be clear.
you know what I'm
To be
saying.
fair,
I
it's
mean,
not
It's
Boston.
all the same.
They're Western. They're
You're
Western
East
Mass.
Coast media elites. We're West Coast media elites. All right. How dare you, sir?
I mean, we're in the middle. Like we're literally in the middle here. That means we have to hate both the coasts.
I mean, we're in the middle of the West.
Yeah, but if you say Midwest, everybody's like, "Oh, you mean northern Wisconsin or something?" It's like,
What's that about? How come they got it? How come they get to claim it?
I don't know. It's the worst,
I mean, look, I'm from California, and I'll tell you right now, nobody from there knows anything about anything in between any of the coasts. They don't know. They don't know.
Here's the thing.
Texas might as well be Cleveland. You know what I'm saying? It's just like it isn't there. It's all the middle of nowhere.
I was in
It's
Pennsylvania
all the boonies.
once while I was out there, and I told the guy there, I was like, just so you know, everybody outside of here considers this part of New England. And he was like, no. And I'm like, yes. From Pennsylvania up, basically, is definitely New England. If some stuff south of it is maybe New England. And they're like, what? Here's the thing. New England does not go that far down. Did you know that?
I know it now, but I did not know this. Yeah.
Is Connecticut part of New England?
No.
Yes. The same way Anakin's on the Jedi Council. All right?
Because New York isn't New England.
Parts of it are.
So what? Are you saying upstate is part of New England? Or is it just parts of upstate?
Parts of upstate.
Man, there's only two places in New York, and it's New York City and it's Buffalo, Right? Albany isn't a real place. You know what I'm saying?
Albany's there. They're doing stuff.
Niagara
Syracuse?
Falls, that's part of Canada. I know that. You know?
Yeah.
It's not real.
It is. It's
Upstate New Yorkers,
Also-
you don't even like New York because New York City's in it. You know what I'm saying? It's ruined all your fun. So secede. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Surrender yourselves to the falls, Just shrink back into Niagara Falls.
Here's the thing. If you're from Niagara Falls, though, and you're talking to somebody not from that immediate area, would you not just say you're from Buffalo, the Buffalo area? Because everybody's going to be like, well, how do you live on a waterfall? Or something stupid, Like, nobody's going to be like, oh, well, there's a town there.
The The only thing I knew about Niagara Falls as a kid was that people tried to go down it in barrels, you know?
Yeah.
But then when you see it, you're like, what kind of idiot would attempt that, you know?
Yeah. I drove past it 4 or 5 times.
It big.
I never went.
It big.
Yeah. I got that part.
It's a lot of water. You know what I'm saying?
The water is there. All right. The water's wetting, okay? Here's the messed up part. Canada's like, look at all this water. We're going to use it to power half the country. And America's like, no.
Let's wear ponchos and sit by that.
Let's
know?
build a fancy restaurant underneath it. That's why I never stopped. It's like I want to eat at the fancy restaurant and I want to go stand under the waterfall. I want to go over it in a barrel.
What movie was it? I think one of the Sharknadoes was it. They went to Niagara Falls, didn't they?
Yeah.
The second, yeah. Oh, what a film. Well, Tyler, do you want to go first or do you want me to go first? I mean, I know you just blew all your material you were going to use because you were going to turn it, whatever you started your rant as, you were going to turn it into...
How dare you, sir? 'Cause that stuff was all about East Coast. He's from... Where is he from? Where does the movie take place?
Right? It's either... I don't know. I don't even know if they say in the book, do they?
Is it just... They may not really.
It's big city. It's either Chicago, Seattle, or...
No, because I definitely remember him talking about flying to Chicago in one of the scenes. Oh, you're looking it up now.
I guess so. I have to look at my thumbs. I don't have a keyboard or anything. This is lame.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you could. You could just face away from me and just hear me talking behind you. You know?
Oh, I'm so good. The location of Fight Club is intentionally left ambiguous, as author Chuck Palahniuk did not name a specific city in the novel. Te dije, mijo. The film adaptation of Fight Club was primarily filmed in, obviously, let's say it on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Baltimore.
Wilmington, Delaware. Oh,
I was close.
pretty close. Yeah.
I almost went to Wilmington.
I mean, you watch Fight Club and that just screams Delaware,
Yeah.
you know?
Wilmington, it's where I almost moved to instead of Boston, but no, they moved me to Boston. Isn't that fun?
Wow, you could have gotten beat up once a week.
Look.
Oh, the big boys, they're not losing Fight Club, you know?
No.
Well, you know, that's the thing, too, they go into in the book, because the big boys, they have their little fights, you know, and that's fun. You get 2 little scrappy guys. That's when it goes on. That's when it's like a 10-minute fight, you know, and that's when you go till you're, like, about to die, you know?
Yeah. All right, I'll go first.
Let me use my brand new watch to time you. Here
I
you go.
saw your box for your watch. Hold on. You know I never have the time.
You don't need a timer.
Minutes?
I need a timer.
Oh, you do the timer? Okay.
I'll interrupt you whenever I please. Go ahead.
All right, Cody, here's the thing. Let me tell you about this movie. First off, everybody tells you, they're like, oh, the spoiler, the movie at the end, you know. Oh, but we're in Spoiler Town, USA, by the way. We never actually said it. We just said we were going to steal a car and then started talking about the East Coast. We're in Spoiler Town, USA, spoiling the movie here for everybody. He was dead the whole time. That's the spoiler, right? Or something? I don't know. Anyway, the point is, everybody's like, if you know the twist at the end, it's so obvious the whole time. BS. It's just like when people are like, oh, it's so obvious that Bruce Willis was dead the whole time in Sixth Sense, right? Because it's like, but it's not obvious. Because if it was obvious, you would have figured it out halfway through the movie. It's not. It's like, okay, I can see how they never do this and he never does these certain things. But then it's like, but he obviously interacts with the world. So it kind of takes the wind out of it's so obvious, sales, right? And then how do they fix that? How do they go like, well, this is how Tyler Durden was able to do stuff. Because sometimes you imagined that you were watching me do stuff, and that made me so I was you doing the stuff. And I was like, okay, stop sniffing your own farts, dude. Let's get over it. Let's, just have a ghost dude be there, Here's the thing about the movie, right? It's good even if you know the twist at the end, you know? That Tyler Durden and what's-his-face are the same guy. Who's the other guy's name? Nobody cares, Cody. He's nobody. In Project Mayhem, nobody has names, okay? This is what you don't understand. Here's the thing. The twist, the turn from when it went, it's like Fight Club, it's happening. He's doing it. And then Project Mayhem starts, in my opinion, comes out of nowhere. It's like really just like, and now we're terrorists. It's like, what? What? Like, as soon as the first dude shows up on the porch, I'm like, look, this is a wild turn. This is when I'm like, all right, dude, we need to shut it down. It's one thing to beat each other up in the basement of a bar once a week. It's a whole nother thing to have a cult. All right, we gotta shut the cult stuff down. All right, but he was fine with it. You know, what does that say about him? What does I say about him, Cody? What does I say about you as a person? A little edgelord, Cody. All right, you're out here, you're there, Cody. Let's cast your mind back to when this movie first came out. Let's say you're taking me. You're a 10-year-old taking a 5-year-old to this movie. How does that make you feel? Why would they not going to let us in? You're a crazy person. Does that check out? Are you 5 years older than me? No. Yes. No? How? Count it out. 3 years? I don't know. We're children is what I'm saying. We're children. 25 years ago, we're little children going to this movie. Why would they let us in? Why'd they let us in now? I think a movie should be only allowed to get watched by people old enough to watch it at the time it comes out. They really, like, here's the thing. They really, like, they made a big deal out of Bob having huge knockers at the beginning, and then really were just like, you're weird for making a big deal of it later in the movie. And I'm like, look, you cannot have the guy who gets half of his head blown up be the guy with comically large boobs, all right? That's just, it's weird, right? Also, it's weird that what's-his-face is in the movie, right? Who is he? He's 30 Seconds to Mars? Is that the band? Is that the band name? Did I nail it? Yes. Do you have one of their vinyls? Be honest with me. Okay, I'd respect you a little bit more now. But also, stop being mean to Jared Leto. It's fine. Their music's fine. Whatever. Who cares? It's like the same people who are mean to Jared Leto are the people who are like, I hate Linkin Park. Or not Linkin Park, Nickelback. It's like, all right, really? Because their album sales suggest that you're lying. And I'm going to fight you at Fight Club. That's what Fight Club's needed for, Cody, is all these people are like, Nickelback sucks. And then you go back and their library is entirely Nickelback. And you're like, we have to fight now, right? And Tyler Durden is there trying to keep us from killing each other at the fight. And that's what society needs, all right? Also, this guy started this Fight Club. He was just throwing himself around in the middle of a parking lot. And everybody's like, this guy seems to know what's up. What? What? Like, that seems weird, right? That seems like those guys got a problem, right? That they're out there fighting. He's out there fighting for his life, and then they're there. But here's the real. Here's what I found the real story of the movie. Okay, let me share it with you, Cody. If you want,
Tyler, I'm going to cut you off right there. Perfect timing. Are you ready? Are you ready for me to go? That's the question.
No.
I mean, can I time myself?
No.
Sure, but that would be too meta for the point of the movie, you know? Me timing myself would be like if Tyler Durden and the narrator were the same person. That's right. The narrator does not have a name. He's just the narrator. Isn't that cool? It's sort of like how in Tenet the main character is just the protagonist. That's his name. What? Christopher Nolan's so cool. I'm so glad he rebounded, you know? I'm so glad Oppenheimer came around. Let me tell you, Tyler. You didn't get Bob. You didn't get Bob and his big boobs, and here's why you didn't. Because you were late. I want to know how I know you were late? Because I was there too, all right? He has testicular cancer, all right? He was a juicer. And between all the hormones he's losing and missing and getting, they fill up with fluid. They got to get drained, all right? But he's still a man. That's the point. He doesn't have any balls, and he may have giant boobs, and he may be divorced, but he's still a man, all right? That's what you don't get. And Meatloaf in a Fight Club, I'm not fighting that guy. You know what I'm saying? That guy was huge. You know what I'm saying? That man sings that one song, you know? What's that song called? We'll do anything for love. But I can't finish it because copyright probably. They're watching us like a hawk ever since the Wicked incident. You know what I'm talking about. Ariana Grande, no mercy. She's not human. Watch her Hot Ones interview. Tell me she's a human being. Aliens are among us, and there's one actually, and it's just Ariana. She's biding time. You know what I'm saying? If Mark Zuckerberg wants to make $1, he's going to bring Fight Club to the metaverse. You're in the Facebook comments. You're arguing with someone. You've had enough. You know, you could poke people back in the day. Now you can fight people. Say, hey, I want to fight you. All right? You get 3 free passes a year to fight anyone. Otherwise, it has to be an agreed upon fight. All right? You agree on the fight, bing, bang, boom. You got your metaverse headset on, and you go at it. We got to figure out a way for the blows to translate through the headset and become real, but I'll settle for a fake virtual fight. You know what I'm saying? And that's how we settle which band is actually the worst band in the world. You know, there's always one band we all have to pretend to agree on, but we don't really mean it. You know, we don't mean it. They're on the charts. How could they be? You know what I'm saying? 30 Seconds to Mars, they got that one song probably. I don't know what it is. You don't know what it is. But we know Jared Leto is the Joker. You know what I'm saying? You get it? He plays Angel Face in the movie. And he beats his face in. Isn't that great? Tyler, you're telling me you're drunk. You're stumbling out of the bar. It's 2 a.m. You know? There's some guy fighting himself. You're not going to go check that out? 100%. Sober? I'm not talking to that guy. Drunk? I'm going to figure out his deal, all right? We're going to have a little one-on-one. We're going to have a little powwow, you know? I might offer to fight him, you know? Be like, hey, look, you look lonely out here. Obviously, you want to get hit in the face. I'll do it. You know what I'm saying? I will say, here's the thing. The reveal is a little less weird in the book, but it is kind of funny, right? It's a little funny to see him fighting himself and doing some of the stuff himself. It's a little less weird in the book. It's more, I don't know. I liked the way it was revealed in the book more because it's kind of like, wait, hold on, wait a minute, oh my goodness. Because the way the book is written, it really hits you when it's like, oh man, he was him the whole time, you know, where you're like, I don't know. Book's great. Here's the thing that shocked me, you know. This movie is hardcore, you know what I'm saying? It's got sex. It's got alcohol. It's got violence. It has anarchy, vandalism, terrorism, schizophrenia, and I was just reading that. You know, it's got all the language. It's such an intense book. And what's funny with Chuck Palahniuk, the author, this is like one of his like more tame books. He's like, I don't know. He's like the edgelord of all edgelords. It's like he only goes harder, you know, just whatever. I've only read 1 or 2 of his other books. It's definitely his best work, in my opinion. So there you go. Look, excellent book. Pretty good movie, though. I think we need to dive into a bit of the philosophy of it because the ending is quite different. But I don't know that I really understood the book as a wee teen. I just thought it was cool. And it is. And it's a great twist, which makes it a great reread. But it was an impressive work by David Fincher. I'm glad he got to do it because he's a great director. Alien 3 was a bit of a bomb.
I have to cut you off here, Cody.
Not everyone gets a third chance, you know, so I'm glad he got it on a second chance.
I recently saw a thing about Alien 3 where they put a real dog in alien costume, and it's like the visual arts director is just like, sometimes you do something and it's just so stupid. Like it just
I saw
like
that,
just like viciously attacking how stupid it was. It was really funny because he's like pulled no punches with how dumb he thought it was.
I just liked him talking about like the logistic nightmare of like, but then the dog was blind, then we had to change the costume, and then we had to do this, and then it was, and then we would do like 30 takes, and one would be usable.
And then there was like the one shot where it's like that it shows the dog
It's
in
just a
costume
greyhound.
running away.
It's
And
just a
like,
greyhound with an alien mask on it.
It looks so bad.
Oh man.
The guy who plays the monster in the new Alien movie, he just looks like that. all the time, and it's like really, it's kind of disturbing. If I'm honest, like I'm sure he's a nice guy, but like, have you seen him? Look him up. Look him up, Cody. Look up the dude that plays the monster, the alien, the xenomorph with the
new one.
The new one. Not the guy that played the original one, because that's
All
the
right.
film credit.
His name is Robert Paulson. Just kidding. His name is Trevor Newlin. Interesting. Wait, hold on. Now I'm confused. No. Sorry. It's actually Robert Bobryczski.
There you go.
Robert Bobryczski, which sounds so made up.
Yeah.
What's his name? Robert Bobbert. Anyway.
Yeah.
The Polish version of Robert Bobbert. Let's look at this dude. Let's get a look at him. Oh, he's big. Oh yeah, he's got the like kinked kind of shoulders.
Yeah, he had that thing where he kept growing.
Because he too tall. And that's just how it works, you know? You can only be so tall
He plays basketball, though.
before it goes. Yeah. I mean, they didn't even do anything to this guy. They just took off his basketball shorts and said, "You're good to go, guy."
I mean, here's the thing. If you're the face of a monster and they use your real face for part of it, that's kind of messed up, right? But, like, the thing is that there's a part where the monster's, like, crawling.
Yeah.
And it just looks like if this dude crawled at you. And I'm like, I don't like that. I don't like that. I was glad that I missed the movie, I'm being honest with you.
It's pretty good.
It looks like it's pretty good, but I was like, I'm definitely going to have nightmares when I go see it. And here's the here's the problem with my wife, right? She has no chill when she knows something bothers me. I have a strange fundamental fear of werewolves. I don't know why. I think it's because honestly, I think it's because I saw the Harry Potter movie too young.
Right.
And so I used to always think whenever I was shampooing my hair, the werewolves were coming for me. And I got over
your
it.
eyes
for
were
long.
closed?
They were closed.
All right.
And there was a small window in the shower.
I don't remember what was coming to get me, but something was coming to get me too.
Everybody got something coming to get them. And then I was fine for a long time. And then I encountered a black cow on the side of a country road.
Okay.
As you're approaching a black cow at dead night,
Yes.
all you could see is its eyes. And I can
Yeah.
tell you, a cow is a lot bigger than anything else that should be out there.
Right.
And you don't expect to see a cow.
Right.
So I was convinced this is a werewolf. I'm going to die to a werewolf. And that reawakened the fear.
I think there's a new Wolfman movie coming out. We gonna catch that?
Yeah, so now my wife, she'll randomly play like wolf sounds and stuff and like make me watch werewolf movies with her. So, yeah, she's mean to me. She hits me sometimes, but it's okay. You know, I just go to Fight Club and that solves it, you know?
Oh, Tyler. I thought it was a good movie.
You ever had a chemical burn, Cody?
No, I don't think so.
It hurts.
I bet.
Really bad.
I bet, dude.
You
You ever given yourself a chemical burn?
yes, that's how I got the chemical burn. What do you mean? Not intentionally, but I did happen. It was on the back of my hand. You can't see it. It didn't scar me up that bad. But here's what you do. Let me PSA to everybody. You got paint stripper and you get the hardcore stuff. It works so much better than the Goo Gone or whatever that everybody wants to use, or the citrus stripper.
Yeah.
And you put on the gloves that say, you know, chemicals don't eat through this stuff. It's like, you're fine. The paint stripper falls on it and it turns to powder instantly. And your hand is then just covered in paint stripper.
That's cool.
And water doesn't help.
Right. Because
Yeah.
you got to use the vinegar.
Yeah. Nobody there knew that though. So I just kept scrubbing it with water till it was on. And then it was fine.
You should have told me, dude. I read Fight Club 12 times.
Yeah. But it hurt. So I can't imagine how bad it would hurt. Like to have somebody like holding my hand there and like leaving it on there. Oh, it would hurt. Because it feels like your skin's on fire.
Oh, yeah.
You
You
wanna do
scar
it?
it all?
Nah, I mean, for a little while. But I was just looking at the back of my hand. I don't think there's any noticeable scars on it. Because I think the glove did like make most of it just slough off, and I was able to get it off fast enough that it didn't like scar, like really do any permanent damage.
Mm-hmm.
But it burned for days afterwards. Like my hand just felt like it was
Oof.
sunburned.
Yikes. I don't like that.
It hurts. It's not fun. There's been other chemical burns from stuff, but it's not that bad. That was the worst one. I did get some. I don't know if it was lye. It was one of those things where it's like a powder that'll chemical burn you on me once, but that wasn't that bad because it was just a little bit.
I just get the cooking burns because obviously I do.
Because you cook bacon without a shirt on, like we all do, like
Yeah.
a hero.
Yeah, I burned my hand today pushing sausage down onto a pan. You know, because why would you use a spatula to do that when you can just use your hands?
Yeah.
The hands are nature's spatula. That's what people don't understand.
Let's talk about these people that reach in and flip like bacon and sausage over with their bare hands.
What?
You ever seen somebody do that? They're like cooking bacon and they're like,
Yeah.
all right, it's done. And they,
Yeah.
like, whip it.
Yeah, I do that a little bit, not much, because it's really easy to, you know, but you get bold, you get brash when you spend enough time in the kitchen. But, you know, I learned it from the Mexican grandmas flipping tortillas, because they take their nail, they slide it on the tortilla, and the nail touches the pan, but nothing else does. So it's like not even, it doesn't burn, you know, because your nail's tough. Anyway, so you feel invincible, you know, when you do it. But then you lose the touch, and then you're like scared, you know.
Yeah. Then you get too bold. Then your knuckle touches the super crazy hot pan, and you're like, that's not.
That's
then
what
your
I did
knuckle
today.
bubbles up.
I did that today. Ooh, it hurt.
Yeah.
There are some fun facts to this movie.
Give them to
I'm
me.
trying to go through this trivia because I didn't do it at all earlier, but I do remember a couple. Obviously, part of the movie talks about Tyler clipping single frames of pornography into family films. It's a thing. Well, they clip. Well, let me ask you: did you notice any of the clippings of Tyler in the movie?
Oh yeah.
So there's like, I forget how many. I think there's at least like 5 or 6, but there might be more. But yeah, they have just like Tyler Durden pop up in like random spots throughout the movie just for one frame, which is cool. It's a nice touch.
I see. I don't know if this is how they did it, but it did seem like he the first time it was one real fast frame, and then it progressively got more and more like he would flicker until he was like there all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if that's what they did, but I noticed like especially the last time before he was there permanently, it seemed like he like flickered in and out a few times.
Yeah. Yeah. Which is cool. I appreciate that about Fincher. It's like he's such like a detail guy, which makes him a good candidate for this movie. I am kind of curious. I don't know. My big thing with the movie, there's so much philosophy in it, you know, of just like anti-consumerism and anti-whatever, like all the things about modern society, you know, which is interesting because like since the movie's come out, like we've had the internet blow up and social media blow up. And, you know, it's like, I feel like a lot of the points Tyler makes like really apply, you know, today. And in the book, obviously, you get a little more time with the prose, you know?
Yeah.
Whereas in the movie, it's kind of quick. They throw out the same lines, but in the book, they kind of go over them in more detail. A lot of them, you know? Some whatever the rant they're doing is probably longer or maybe repeated a few more times, you know? So that's something I like better about the book is like if you're interested in like sort of the philosophy of it, it's much more in depth in the book. But still, I think it's all there in the movie. The big difference for me is the book takes a much darker ending. Shoots himself, goes to mental hospital is where he ends up. But it's like an allegory for heaven, you know? So he's like talking about the workers like they're angels and the psychiatrist like he's God, you know? So it's like him having an interview with God kind of thing. But the people that work there are also in Project Mayhem, you know? So they're like, don't worry, everything's still going. Don't worry, sir. Like, everything's moving kind of thing. So they kind of hint that like everything's still going on. Whereas in the movie, it's like, oh, hey, Tyler Durden's gone. I'm still here. Marla and I can be together now, which is, it's interesting in a different way because I think at the end of the movie, Tyler goes through and it's like, hey, look, you wanted to escape, you know, you wanted to get out of your life. So we blew up your apartment. And so, you know, he goes through the whole thing. You wanted to hit rock bottom. It's a big point, right? It's like hitting rock bottom. So I think kind of the point the movie makes is like, hey, he has finally hit rock bottom. Like he's realized what he's done to himself. But now, like, look, buildings don't blow up. That part of the project is complete. But it's also like, the narrator's kind of complete now, and he can move on with his life. And now he's capable of being with Marla, kind of thing, which is also interesting.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a little bit less like, I don't know. I guess maybe I need to reread the book and like try to understand the actual point of it, you know? 'Cause I don't know if I do, you know?
Yeah.
But I read it so many times because I liked it so much.
As a child, as a wee lad. Yeah. I would say if the book ended that way, I would almost think it'd be like kind of like the ending of Inception, where it's like, did he die, or
yeah,
is he actually still alive? You know, like
right. For me, reading as a teenager, I was like, oh, he is dead in heaven, right?
Yeah.
But then I think people have pointed out since, as I've been reading about it, it's like, oh no, it's it's obvious that he isn't actually dead, right? It was just he survived a suicide attempt, but is stuck in. I don't know. So that's what I thought was kind of interesting about it is, I don't know, because I think part of the problem Fincher had with the movie is like some people took it as like genuine, right? Just like it does with anything, is you're like, oh, we should all go out and start a fight club, which is not really what the point of the movie is, right? It's sort of like a criticism or like a satire, but it doesn't mean that we should all go out, shave our heads, sell soap, and start doing anarchy stuff. So whereas in the book it's like he's I feel like in the movie it's almost like, oh hey, he doesn't have to deal with the consequences of anything, whereas in the book it's like, no, it's all the thing he started is still chugging along, it's off the rails, it's gone, he's no longer in control of it.
Yeah. But like, part of me thinks, with the way the movie ended, right? Because I feel like you took it as, all right, he's got it under control, and he can stop it. Is that the way the movie ended? In my mind, it's like, well, he's not gonna stop it. Mm-hmm. He and Tyler finally become one person in his hitting rock bottom, and now he's just accepted that it's happening. So he might dial it back, but he's not going to stop it. Like, in my mind, Project Mayhem would continue going on.
Yeah.
And doing its thing.
Yeah. That's something interesting, too, is, like, there's a slight difference there. In the movie, they're like, hey, we're going to erase the debt record. Mm-hmm. And in the book, we're going to topple this skyscraper onto the Natural History Museum. So it's more like a symbolic gesture of, like, everything that's happened before, this whole society was built up, we're tearing it down, is the idea. Mm. I don't know. The debt record thing is also interesting. But I forget in the book, I think if they might still topple the tower, I forget. I don't remember. It's been too long. Yeah. I guess I should have read it 13 times.
I do think the skyscraper is blown up. I could see it from the book's perspective of having that never happen. Would in theory, because like there's never you hear about stuff happening, but he never. I guess there's the one time where he sees it on the news, but then it's just like he sees it on the TV of the stuff they did. He never physically sees the actions that they do or like the outcomes of what they do. Mm. So that would leave it ambiguous of like, was everything in his head or is it?
Well, yeah.
So I could see that being what the book was going for if it never talks about the skyscraper falling over.
Yeah.
Like, is he just crazy and thinks this is all happening, or is it actually happening? Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You have to read the book again, aren't you?
Yeah, I guess so. Oh, so much.
You and Bailey can read your banned books together.
Oh, yeah.
Your gross books.
Right. I want to remember how it goes.
Can't do it.
It's a bummer.
It's the first rule. You said something after we came out of the movie. Now, I didn't finish college because I'm a cool guy.
Right.
But you did. And we went to the same college.
Okay.
Are you going to look me seriously in the eye and tell me you never got invited to an actual fight club?
What? Dude.
These are repressed religious youths.
Look me in the face. Look at the records on my wall. I'm not a cool dude.
I mean, these are the kinds of guys that were beating each other.
No, I didn't go to any cool, edgy, awesome parties ever.
Here's-
I never
we had
went
such a
anywhere people were
different experience
drinking,
there.
doing drugs, hanging out.
Like, you're there, like, nothing
were
cool ever
playing.
happened. And I'm there, like, people are like, yeah, my cousin and his friends threw a girl out the window because she was overdosing, and the cops showed up, and they didn't want to get caught. And they were on,
As
like,
you
the
do.
5th or 6th floor of an apartment building.
As you do. That's part of the social contract, you know?
Yeah.
When you're at a party, you're allowed to do anything to not get caught.
Yeah.
Except you're definitely... I feel like throwing someone out the window. You're going to find out.
No,
She
they did
die?
that.
She dead, though, right?
I don't know. She definitely got
OD'd
really
and thrown
hurt.
out a window. What are you going to
But
do?
I mean, she was ODing and like she's not like seizuring and ODing and like the like
Pulp Fiction
real
sense?
sense. I bet she was just like
Tweaking?
really high.
Yeah.
It's probably like they were probably doing a weed or something. You
Probably
know,
took like a whole puff of a marijuana cigarette.
exactly. You know, like that's what I have told family members that went to this school. Like, look, if you ever come across people and they're drinking, you need to just pretend like you didn't see anything and walk away because they'll kill you. They'll just straight up kill you.
Right.
You know, they're bad people. They're weird people. And you're here, but like nothing cool ever happened. We had to wear closed-toed shoes.
I'm such a narc that like nobody, you know what I'm saying?
You do have the narc energy. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm just a narc, but I like, which is the thing is like I'm not actually a narc,
right.
but I just like have no interest in any of that stuff, you know. So
Yeah.
like, I don't know, you know what I'm saying?
You got real undercover cop vibes.
I got better things to do, you know.
Like you also talked about a certain person. You're like, that's fine if they're. I shouldn't have brought up church or something, you know, like to him. And I was like, you got that energy of a guy who'd be like, everybody's like, yeah, so we were there doing drugs and drinking. You're like, so you guys going to church or what? Like, no, Cody, not here. Don't talk about church at Fight Club, and don't talk about Fight Club ever. But yes, I can neither confirm nor deny, but at the same time, absolutely confirm that yes, there are fight clubs at BYU Idaho.
That's cool.
But it's all body shots. You can't mess up the pretty Mormon boys' faces.
Right. That's true. Anything you can cover with a short sleeve white shirt.
Yep. That was the rules.
Oh man, did you ever fight?
No, I never wanted to go, but I had friends that went.
You would have crushed at a fight club, dude.
My friends and I did fight sometimes in the garage.
Shirts?
It depended, you know, on the vibe at the time, you know.
You pretty good? You pretty
No.
good in a fight? No?
Now, here's the problem. I find it very difficult to full force punch somebody. I pull my
Gentle.
punch.
You're too gentle.
Pull the punch
Too
less.
sweet.
It's very annoying in the middle of a fight when like you're trying to punch somebody and you are physically doing the
I
like
get
dream
that.
punch.
Yeah. I
where
feel
it's
like that would be me too.
Yeah.
I feel like if we had a fight, it would last about 35 minutes. It would just be like, sorry, I just couldn't finish the swing, but yeah.
Yeah. You ever been knocked out in a fight, Cody?
Have I ever been in a fight?
Have you ever been knocked out in
Knocked
a fight?
out? I've never been in a fight.
It doesn't
I don't
have to
think
be a
I've ever
real
been
fight. Could've
knocked out.
I mean, like the one I got knocked out in was a boxing match with my brother.
I don't think I've ever been knocked out.
Cody, you're a younger brother or an older brother. Where
the
are
youngest.
you? Youngest. You've got an older brother. You saying he never knocked you out?
No.
He never choked you out?
No, we wrestled a bit, but we never knocked one another out. Too nerdy, you know?
Yeah. My oldest brother, once we had gloves on, punched me in the face. I remember getting hit in the head, and I remember opening my eyes on the ground.
Nice.
The in between, nothing.
Mystery.
It's gone.
Anything could have happened.
Anything could have happened.
Wow.
I don't know how
You
long
could
it
have
was down
switched to your split personality.
there. I think so. I think that's what happened.
According to this trivia fact, the author Chuck Palahniuk did not know that Tyler and the narrator were the same person until he was 2/3 the way through the book. And then he was like, they kind of like act as one. They're like, you know what? I'm going to finish it that way. So that's fun.
That is fun.
Bit of a fluke. Because I think the inspiration was he got in a fight while camping. He was arguing with someone who had their music playing too loud. They beat him up. And at his white-collar job, nobody would acknowledge all the bruises on his face. He was like, man, these people really wouldn't even, like, it would take too much intimacy for them to ask me about. And so he's like, that's interesting. And that is kind of where it started, of like, you know, you get those scenes of like Ed Norton with a mouthful of blood giving a PowerPoint presentation. And he's like, sorry, I can't talk, got blood in my mouth. You know, and it's like, oh, cool. Cool, dude. Yeah. I did enjoy, there were some visuals that I thought were really good. You know, as much as like I love the book and think some things translate a bit better to the book, there were some fun visuals, like just all the times they like nodded to each other, where it's just like, oh, that waiter's in Fight Club. You know, like you see all the beat up guys around society, you know, about their day. I also really enjoyed their first homework assignment where it's like, start a fight with a stranger. It's just like the guy spraying the guy with the hose. Is it the priest? He sprays the priest with the hose. And it's just like,
that's who finally fights
there were a lot of good, and it is fun. Once again, I should probably read the book again to get the point of it all again, now that I'm a college graduate and I know things. But it is funny, like the chaotic good they do at the same time, you know, because I feel like sometimes the book paints it negatively, and not that it isn't mostly negative, but they do kind of a point to it. Like my big thing was like the human sacrifices. They take a guy out back, they're like, you're wasting your life, go back to vet school or I'll kill you.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you clocked this, but at one point in the house there's literally the back of a door is just filled with driver's licenses of human sacrifices. You know, it is interesting, right? They're very radical, but they do have like something they're trying to accomplish. And it is interesting, just like all these dudes that are like dejected, have no purpose in life, whatever. And it all stems from him going to these support groups to feel something and to be able to sleep. You know, it's kind of funny. That's how it starts. But then all these dudes are like, I found a purpose. I got something going on. I'm not like stuck in this rut. I'm not, you know, a loser. I can fight people, you know, I don't care. One of the things I love in the book is they talk about like, you know, you sit in traffic, whatever, all this, everything pisses you off. It's like after Fight Club, like, don't even care anymore. Like someone will be flipping you the bird or whatever. And it's just like, I don't care, whatever, you know, you're zen. It was kind of funny. I don't know. It's interesting, but I thought a lot of that stuff came through actually really well in the movie.
Here's what I think. I want to put forward. I think Boston is where he's from. Because let me tell you, there's no city where you would be able to successfully do this so fast besides Boston. Like let me tell you, I stand by it. I think traffic is the reason East Coast people are so pissed off all the time. Because it's constant, it's all the time. Even if you're like me for a lot of the time there, where I worked from home a lot and I ordered groceries and stuff, like I never really went out that often. But it's the thought of like, oh, I would like to go to the movies. It's gonna take like 45 minutes to get to this movie theater that's not that far away, and I'm gonna have to deal with all this traffic. It's constantly on your mind, and it just
weighs you down.
Wears you down.
Yeah.
And so like the fact that you could go there and you could just like say I mean, don't get me wrong, you can say a lot to the people. There's a lot of yelling, but several interactions I had, the switch happened so fast that you can tell there's not a lot of real fury. It's like, we're just going to take this out on each other. Yeah. But it's not like I hate you, I hate the situation, and you're representing the situation right now. Yeah. So something like this would do really well there.
Yeah, absolutely. This is a fun little Easter egg. There's that part of the movie where they're whacking cars with baseball bats to trigger the alarms. Yeah. Well, Tyler hits the first one. The alarm doesn't go off. The alarm goes off when the narrator hits it. So just there's a lot of really interesting like hints and.
Yeah, I guess or they hit it at the same time. The time when like the airbags go off. It's
like the book is really interesting because I don't know. There's so many things that make it seem so obvious. Once you know, and you're like, man, it was sitting there right in front of my face like the whole time I was reading it. So I'm sure it's the same with the movie, but especially in the book, it's just like, oh man, like he said it so many times, you know, we're the same person without saying that, you know?
Yeah. I do think one of the most like, moments I had, no one going in thinking like, oh yeah, this would be like a slap in the face after rewatching it, is like when he's beating himself up in his boss's office. He's like, for some reason I thought of my first fight with Tyler, and I'm like, oh well, that's obvious why, knowing that it's this. Tyler doesn't exist. It's the same guy.
I really think the Marla stuff came through well too, because like in the book, I know he does in the movie too, but he hates Marla, right? She's the thing in his way of going to these support groups he likes, and she's ruining it for him. And then she's here, he just wants to spend time with Tyler. He's gay for Tyler, but she's straight for Tyler, and they're off together. And then you see her reaction to him all the time being hostile to her, and she's like, "What's your deal, man?" It's like, why are we here to have sex? And then you yell at me when we're in the kitchen, So, yeah, all that was very. I thought it was very well done. I thought the movie was very well acted too.
Yeah,
I enjoyed Brad Pitt's a very good actor, obviously, but this is one of his more fun performances. Mm-hmm. I also thought the costumes were wild too, like the difference between Ed Norton's like white collar, whatever, I'm just off work look, and Tyler wearing like, he has all these fancy designer clothes, but like things don't match, things are weird. And you also see sometimes it's like, oh, he's wearing like a fancy designer shirt and then like basketball shorts and flip-flops, It's like, what is happening? What is this? What are any of these outfits? Like, they're so bizarre. But it's just that like that anarchy and chaos sort of coming out through his, it's like, oh, he's kind of hot, but also he doesn't care at all. And also he doesn't conform to anything at all, like he's absolutely doing his own thing.
Yeah. Making the soap out of human fat. Talk about the commitment of that performance right there. When the fat bag bursts open and Brad Pitt gets in there. He gets in there.
To grab it. Tries to collect all the dripping fat.
I don't know what they put in there, but I'm sure it wasn't pleasant to have it oozing on you.
No.
And he got in there.
No way.
Give the man an Oscar, Edward Norton, maybe not, he's not a cool guy, apparently.
Unhinged. But Brad Pitt was mean to the Angelina or Jennifer Aniston, or both of them. I don't know. What's his deal?
I don't know.
Is he a bad guy, or is he just a bad boy?
Ooh.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man. Well, look, we've been talking for a minute. What else you want to add? What else you want to throw in here?
Here's the thing. Cody, here's the real question, right?
Yeah.
You're sitting there across from me, reading these books, watching this movie.
Yeah.
You got people in your head, Cody? Is that what's going on? Is that why you got
I read the book so I could exercise them. They're gone now.
Here's the thing. I was old when I discovered that most people don't have other people in their head. And I'm not talking like people don't take over for me. As far as I know.
Okay.
All right.
Cool.
I've never had to deal with
That's a good start.
crazy cult worshiping me. Okay.
Okay.
But you're trying to tell me you never have a conversation with another person in your head that you don't know what they're thinking?
What?
Because it seems like a totally normal thing in my head. And I don't talk about it to most people because it seems like, by your reaction, that's what a crazy person says.
Everyone has their imaginary friends,
It's very similar to that, but as an adult. That's what I'm saying.
Look, you got that fun rainbow brain, that neurodivergence, I guess. Look, I don't know.
You're coming at me with that, but look, you're the one out here trying to get drugs to save your life.
Trying? Already got him, dude. High five. I haven't had that experience, but I believe you.
Yeah. I mean, I wasn't really...
In a good way or a bad way?
I mean, it's not necessarily like...
It just is?
It just is, yeah. It
Cool.
just is a thing that happens.
We've been doing this for a minute. I learned a lot of fun things. I learned about... You might have mentioned your fights to me before. I learned about your
the fights,
wolf... your wolfman fear.
I've told about that before.
I learned about... Okay, do they have names, You can't drop this in the last moments of the podcast.
Look,
you're wild.
It's like, okay, okay, right? You ever been like, you see the wrapper on the floor, you walk past it, and then there's the voice that says, Why don't you just pick up the rapper, dude? Imagine that, but like with more of a personality behind it,
Okay.
and like a person that you could talk to in your brain.
Okay. All right.
That's really what it is.
Okay. No.
Oh,
So you've got a Tyler Durden,
kinda. Yeah.
but he just hasn't come out and took the driver's seat.
It'd be cool if he would, you know? He seems like a better person than me, so I mean, sure, dude. Take the wheel for a few weeks. That's fine with me.
Oh man.
I'm sure he's a more passionate lover and a better worker. You know? Fine. Get out me right now. Like, let's do it, you know? I'll take the passenger seat. Was it what they call him, the silent passenger in that movie?
I don't remember. Sounds good.
Because they
good
cut
to
off
me.
your brain stem or whatever.
Right. Yeah.
That's not how the
Or
brain
like in
works.
Split, it's like
Yeah,
they
I've
have the
seen
spotlight. Oh, well, Split. We're in Spoiler Town. He's a split personality,
What?
but the way they described it is like, no, there's all these personalities, and only one gets a spotlight at the time.
Oh,
and so they all take turns with the spotlight, right? Of who's showing up.
I thought it was a Medea kind of situation where he was just playing multiple characters, you know?
They're also in a mental hospital, and he's in all 23 cells as different characters,
Yeah.
and they interact, and he's got a wig sometimes, he's got a fat suit sometimes,
Let me
he's
ask
got
you
silly
this.
clothes.
Since we're spoiling Split, just tell me this.
Yeah.
The Beast or whatever they call it.
Yeah.
Is that what they call it? The Beast? Does he
Maybe.
look different or is he just like...
I mean, he wild man. It's like they
But it's-
kind of do a little bit where it's like, oh, he's like, like the Joaquin Phoenix spine, Joker spine thing.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that. It's nothing like that different, but it is like, oh, he's feral, he's crazy, dude. That's like it. That I remember at least.
As I remember from the trailers, they're like, that none of them wanted him to get the spotlight.
I don't think he'd ever got it before.
Yeah. But he gets it
Spooky.
once
Spooky.
at the end
Yeah.
and he kills them all.
That's how you get.
Until-
That's how you get in the third act there.
Until Bruce Willis shows up and saves them, right?
But I didn't see that one. No one saw that one. Everyone just saw the second one.
Glass?
You know. Fun fact: the guy who wrote this also wrote Jumper.
I love Jumper, Cody.
Here's a question for you. So this movie was a flop. It barely made its money back. It was not a big success, but it had like huge success once its like video DVD release came out. Huge successful. Do you want to guess what it is on the IMDb top list?
Top what?
It's in the top 250.
Okay. I'm
These
going
are
to guess
just user
73.
scores. It's 13.
13? Oh.
It is cult stat. I mean, internet boys, incels, love this movie. So it
Here's
makes
the thing.
sense that it's high on the IMDb list. But it's come to be loved, but it is, it's a cult classic.
The kids, the children that love the movie, much like yourself, right?
Yes.
They love the book, they love the movie. I do feel like everybody else I've talked to that was really into this movie or into this book really comes at it like thinking that the whole message of the movie or the book is nihilism. And I'm like, that's especially now that I've seen it, I'm like, it's absolutely not nihilistic.
Mm-hmm.
It's just redirecting about what's important, because he talks all the time about what is and isn't important, and that's like the whole thing of nihilism is nothing matters.
Right, yeah. That's
So-
it's the Rick Sanchez, I'm going to do whatever because nothing matters.
Right.
Whereas
Or-
they have a very direct purpose in what they're trying to do.
Or the Big Lebowski. What do they want, Cody?
It's been too long.
They don't want anything. They're nihilists.
Oh, yeah. I never rewatched that one. That one's so good.
Yeah.
Well, should we wrap this up with some quotes before I get your grade on
Yeah.
this guy? Let's see. Ooh, Tyler Durden. The things you own end up owning you. It's that IKEA catalog. You got to watch out for it.
Can you imagine having to call IKEA to order that stuff? Heaven forbid. All
That's
right? I'd
wild.
rather die.
It's been a minute, Society's come so far,
Oh, speaking of which, speaking of us being capitalist pigs and slaves to the system, at some point I need to take Tiffany to IKEA. She never been. You want to go?
Don't take me to IKEA, dude.
Let's do an IKEA trip.
If
Two
Bailey,
white couples?
if you heard me, you didn't hear me, all right? Bailey is trying to keep me to IKEA every other weekend, and I'm telling you, IKEA is so fun the first time. That's it. That's all you need, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I go maybe once a year.
Oh,
Once every
man.
couple of years, really.
All right, let's see. Here we go. Tyler Durden. You are not your job. You are not how much money you have in the bank. You're not the car you drive. You're not the contents of your wallet. You are not your effing khakis. You're the all-singing, all-dancing crap of the world.
Mm-hmm.
First rule of Fight Club is you do not talk about Fight Club. Second rule of Fight Club is you do not talk about Fight Club. Third rule of Fight Club, someone yells stop, goes limp, taps out, the fight is over. Fourth rule, only 2 guys to a fight. Can you imagine if Fight Club was just like a full room brawl? That'd be even more fun. Fifth rule, 1 fight at a time. Ugh. Sixth rule, no shirts, no shoes. Seventh rule, fights will go on as long as they have to. And the eighth and final rule, this is your first time at Fight Club. You have to fight.
I will say the rules of real fight clubs that I've talked about or been invited to were a little different. Mostly it's less stuff, like no belts.
Yeah.
But depending on the fight club, here's one thing. If you're invited to a fight club, probe a little bit, ask about the when does the fight stop and stuff. Because some of them are real serious about that. Like if somebody taps out, it's over.
Mm-hmm.
And some of them are not.
So when is it over?
Somebody dies, Cody. Whenever people want it to stop, I guess.
That's
I don't
chill.
know. But yeah. Some of them are not chill. Some of them are where people take out grudges. And some of them are where a bunch of white dudes
That seems like a
fun.
really good use for Fight Club. Is like, hey, we have a big beef. Let's meet up here and fight in an organized manner.
But
you
see,
know, like
that's the thing,
civilized
that
humans.
takes away from Fight Club. Fight Club's not about that.
What's it about?
It's about just letting it out, you know? Just
Yeah.
letting it all out in there, you know? It's about, if you can't come up and like high five the other guy and hug it out after the fight, you're doing it wrong.
Nice.
You know what I'm saying?
No metaverse fights? Here's an Easter egg from the DVD. It's like I forget where it pops up, but it's like a little pop-up that you can stop at and read. Warning, if you're reading this, then this warning is for you. Every word you read of this useless fine print is another second off your life. Don't you have other things to do? Is your life so empty that you honestly can't think of a better way to spend these moments? Or are you so impressed with authority that you give respect and credence to all that claim it? Do you read everything you're supposed to read? Do you think everything you're supposed to think? Buy what you're told to want? Get out of your apartment. Meet a member of the opposite sex. Stop the excessive shopping and masturbation. Quit your job. Start a fight. Prove you're alive. If you don't claim your humanity, you will become a statistic. You have been warned. Tyler. This one's interesting from the narrator. When you have insomnia, you never really sleep, and you're never really awake. It's kind of the point of the Tyler narrator switch.
You ever had like bouts of insomnia where like you can't seem to sleep?
I've had bad sleep this last year on and off, but I've not had like full insomnia where it's just like I'm up all night. I'm only ever up for an hour or two, but then I always end up falling asleep. You?
I've had it where I just couldn't fall asleep, no matter how hard I tried. But what I've learned is that like even if you have insomnia, if you just like lay down and don't move and try to just think of relaxing stuff, you won't fall asleep. You will rest and you'll feel a little better.
Oh, there you go.
So I think that's how I got not crazy whenever it would happen.
Well, that's nice.
So that's what I do.
It's kind of like writer's block. The only way to get over writer's block is to write.
Yeah.
So you just write stuff that sucks, and then eventually you'll come to writing good stuff.
If you got insomnia, here's what you do.
Yeah.
Throw on a David Attenborough documentary.
Ooh, yeah.
Listen to it.
Nice.
If you don't fall asleep, you will be relaxed.
Oh, that's smart.
Yeah.
Ah, David.
Here's the problem, though, Cody. You'll eventually start falling asleep, and then anytime you hear his voice, out like
You're
a light.
out. Yeah.
And it's annoying when
Nice.
you like David Attenborough documentaries.
Oh, that sucks.
You know,
Insomnia is
it's a real
rough, dude.
heartbreaker.
Just one or two more. Here we go. From the narrator. On a long enough timeline, the survival rate for everyone drops to 0.
That's deep.
That's why,
It's not deep, though.
hang out with these cancer people, you know?
Yeah.
Let's see.
Is it deep or is it edgelord teenager deep?
Angela Teenager Dream, for sure.
Gotcha.
We're a generation of men raised by women. I'm wondering if another woman is really the answer we need. That's incel talk right there. It's a good one.
They're not going to give up their wizard powers.
No way, dude.
You know about the wizard powers, Cody?
No, I really don't.
Let's take it to a real quick side into the incel community. If you haven't had sex, if you're a virgin into your older ages, you get magic powers, then you're called a wizard. Much like the KKK.
Oh, yeah, I forgot.
Yeah. Anyway, you got more quotes?
I don't know if I do. Oh, this is a good one for Marla. Marla's philosophy of life is that she might die at any moment. The tragedy, she said, was that she didn't. Yeah, Marla's funny.
There's so many quotes in the movie that I'm like, this is really like a teenager wrote this.
Yeah.
Like peak emo teenager wrote this.
Yeah. I don't know what age Chuck Palahniuk was. He was old enough, obviously, to have like a desk job, but yeah, he was trying to be a writer for a minute.
But
well, let me hear your grade for Fight Club.
I think as a movie, like, so for you know, a lot of movies of this age are like get built up real high, right? You know, like recently we watched Saving Private Ryan, and I was kind of let down by it. I think Saving Private Ryan is a fantastic film, but with how high it had been built up, I think it fell very short of how high I was expecting it to be. That's the problem with it. Had I gone in with nothing, it would have been an easy A+. But I went in expecting the world, and it was like a good movie.
Yeah.
This movie, I would say, it hit the bar that had been set, which is rare. It's not usually not.
Yeah.
Right? I think this was even a little bit better. So I think I'll go A-. I'll do A- on it.
Tyler, I want to give it an A- too.
I was like, I wanted to give it an A, but then I was like,
That's
but
exactly
it's like, there's
where I was
some
at.
stuff where I'm just like,
There's a few things where it just, but I mean, for like a director's second movie, quite good. And I mean, it was.
It's a second or third.
I think it was the second. Maybe it was third.
You were
I
saying
thought Alien
third.
3 was his first movie, and then this was his next follow-up, I thought. But
What was his movie after this? Because I thought you were saying this was his successful movie, but then you said
no,
it's not.
it was a flop.
Okay.
It was a box office flop.
Was his next one successful? Is that what you were saying before when we were talking outside?
What was I saying, I was talking about another director who was like, M. Night Shyamalan was like, your first movie's bad, it takes you like 3 to 4 years to get your next one made. So like you're really on a clock where it's like, if I don't get a good movie out, my first 1, 2, or 3 movies, and I'm kind of cooked. Like you're not getting any more. Fincher's filmography, right quick.
Is he the one? He didn't do Dune, did he?
That is Denis Villeneuve.
No, I'm talking about the old one.
That is David Fincher. No, David Lynch.
David Lynch.
Lynch, not
There you
Fincher. Yeah. So it's hard. The hard thing with David Fincher is he did all the music videos for everyone in the 80s and 90s. So we're looking at all the Rick Springfield music videos. So it's hard to get through to the feature films. Hold on. Movies. There we go. Okay, we did it. He has 60 credits for music videos. Alien 3. Oh no, I'm so wrong. This is his 4th movie.
Oh.
Okay, Alien 3, 7, which was successful, I believe.
Yeah.
The
I can see
Game,
that.
which I know nothing about. Fight Club, Panic Room, which I've heard some people liked. Zodiac, I feel like that was his like cemented as one of the great directors. Benjamin Button's Social Network, that's another one cemented in. Dragon Tattoo, but the remake, which I think people still like. Gone Girl, which was a huge success. Mank, which did okay. And The Killer, which was also okay. So I don't know. He's got a few great ones.
Okay.
But he's not quite, I don't think he's quite like a Spielberg, Ridley Scott, in my opinion. I think he needs a few more, like, works. Because just he's not quite that consistent.
Yeah.
I mean, he's consistent. None of these are bad movies by any means. But
You
just some of
definitely-
them are, like, outstanding. Ones like that really stuck, like Gone Girl, Social Network, Zodiac, Fight Club, 7 are all, like, excellent works for sure.
He definitely has a style, and it just seems like whether or not the story fits his style.
Dark, moody style. And Social Network does. And Gone Girl does as well.
7 does.
Yeah, 7 does for sure.
Now that
Man.
you said that does remind me, because I think, isn't that one of the reasons Brad Pitt got this role, or he wanted him in this, is because he liked him in Seven.
Must have been. I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Same director, same actor. Well, Tyler, it's been a pleasure. I mean, this movie's been haunting me for so long, and I'm glad I got to watch it with new eyes and enjoy it. It's good. I'd recommend it. Would you?
Yeah, I think it's
You're an edgelord for sure. Definitely a dude movie, but it is a good movie, regardless.
Oh yeah,
Pretty hardcore though, you know.
yeah. I do
Not
like
for the
how you
faint of
said
heart.
they're chaotic good, because they are the epitome of chaotic good, which is
Yeah.
funny because it's like you know. You, like, people are always making jokes about it, and it's usually like the people that they throw out as chaotic good are like people that are like goody two shoes.
Yeah, I did a nice thing for someone, you know.
Yeah,
It's like,
and I
no,
broke a
I'm going to
couple
do a nice
rules.
thing in the weirdest way
Yeah.
and most chaotic way possible.
It's like,
you
I'm
know?
gonna blow up these buildings. There's nobody in them though. You know.
Oh man, we should do a D&D campaign except it's Fight Club. That would be cool.
That would be fun.
All right, hey, thanks for listening. If you want to yell at us, do it on social media at Opinion Havers. If you want to shout any movies out to us, same deal. Thanks for listening. Until next time, watch movies.
And have opinions.
Would have been right at an hour if we skipped the Niagara Falls talk.
But I feel like it adds.
That's what they're here for.
Yeah.
They show up for the Fight Club. Show up for the falls.